Hiking for Harmony.
I know that Mr. Mike and Mr. Derek are going to hike off the coast of France on an island called Corsica to raise money for Jubilate.
Hey everybody, I'm here to give you an update on Mike and Derek's trek. They're going to be hiking all the way down the spine of Corsica, and it is really one of the most difficult hikes in the continent of Europe. And they're doing it to raise money for this wonderful nonprofit organization, Jubilate, which is an after-school program for children in need.
So Mike and Derek flew to Corsica via Heathrow Airport in London, and they got a pretty good glimpse of the type of mountains they're going to be up against from the plane. After they arrived in Corsica, they had to catch a train to Calvi, and they spent the first night there at the Grand Hotel in Calvi. From there, they got an even closer view of the mountains that they're going to be climbing.
So we're up on the Citadel on a promontory outside of Calvi, and Derek and I believe that we're going to be climbing those mountains across the bay. And I don't know if you can see it, but there appears to be snow up there, and I think well, it's definitely those mountains that we're going to be climbing or passing over. So this time tomorrow night we're going to be near the top of that mountain over there.
Sunday, 5th of June, Calvi. Today has gone pretty much to plan. We arrived in plenty of time for the train, slightly worried when it arrived late. Fortunately, we managed to snag 2 jump seats in the area near the doors. All seats in the carriages were taken. There are loads of hikers here, hopefully not all doing the G20. The scenery was quite spectacular, and the 3-hour trip passed quickly. The final 1/3 was along the coast, in some locations right next to the beach. There were a couple of irate passengers when the train did not stop at their destination, mon Dieu. Fortunately for us, Calvi was at the end of the line. Equally fortunately, our hotel was only 5 minutes from the train station. Today's been leisurely, wandering around Calvi and getting our kit ready for tomorrow. On part of our wandering, we met a guy from Belgium. He asked us about our Jubilate t-shirts. He guessed we would be hiking the trail, and recounted he met some fellow Belgians who did not even complete day 1 of the trail. You could tell he was questioning our sanity and abilities. This time tomorrow, we will have ascended about 4,000 feet. The weather until 2 p.m. today was ideal hiking weather, overcast and relatively cool, but then the sun god turned the switch. The clouds cleared and the wind died, and it was hot. Fingers crossed we have clouds tomorrow. And Derek sent the following update as well on June 5th. Coming into land last night gave us a view of what we have taken on. The Corsican spine of mountains soared against the setting sun, majestic, awesome in the real sense of the word, but also giving a slight feeling of fear. What are we taking on? Our overnight stay was uneventful, and we made our way to the local train station after the usual breakfast of bread, honey, and croissants. The train timetable was a tad rocky, and when our train arrived, we had discussions with a few trekkers as to its destination. Fortunately, we got on the right one, although about an hour later than advertised. We entered a crowded carriage and bagged a couple of pull-down seats in the corner. Our rucksacks, together with those of the other passengers, were packed around us. Various languages were being spoken, and a market-style babble arose from the throng. Health and safety was definitely not a strong point as the train rumbled on its narrow-gauge tracks. The route took us south and then west, through narrow cuttings and tunnels where the rock face almost touched the windows. The scenery was far more green than expected, but dramatic. In the distance, we again saw the mountains that will be our challenge in the coming days. Eventually, we reached the western coast and turned south. The Mediterranean Sea sparkled in the morning sun, and the beaches looked great and were being enjoyed by many on a sunny Sunday morning. Our terminus was Calvi, where we will stop the night before starting our trek tomorrow. A nice town with a historic citadel that once guarded the bay and approaches to the port, now a marina. We explored the lanes close to our accommodation and bought a few things for our trek. Also had a couple of beers and a pizza whilst sitting in the evening sun and admiring the view across the bay. We will be part of it tomorrow. June 6th, 2022. This is from Derek Haines. Last kit check and then heading to the start line. Packs have got heavier with about 4 liters of water each. No replenishment on this first stage. It's baptism by fire. And from Mike, transfer arrived on time at 8 a.m., but have to pick up others at 8:30. What a pain, losing valuable cool time. 30 minutes into their trek, they'd already gone 500 feet in elevation and 1,000 steps. An hour into the first day of their trek, they ascended 1,000 feet. They're on track so far, lots of waypoints, so they should not get lost. So that's where they are at the end of day 1. I'll be hoping that they have enough cell phone signal to continue sending these updates. So we'll be looking forward to it. Stay tuned for the next update.
So do be sure to visit the Jubilate website. I've pasted the link into the description below. You can find out more about what Jubilate does and how it helps children. And you can support Mike and Derek's trek by donating to Jubilate through their website. To keep getting these updates, be sure to subscribe to the Rotary Club of Grand Cayman's YouTube channel and tune in next time.